Salut tout le monde. Hi everyone. My name is Miriam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is the third, or yeah, it's actually no, I think it's the third episode of my French series. And for those who don't know me, my name is Miriam and welcome to my YouTube channel. So for 4 weeks now, 3 weeks now, I've been making videos that relates to France. I'm French. I was born in France and I lived in the UK for many years, and I'm back in France now. So I thought, hey, as I'm in France, let me just make YouTube videos now that relates to France and to help people that want to know more about the French culture, or you know, just French language, just sharing my discoveries and stuff, just really random videos that relates to France. Hopefully I help people that I guess just want to know a bit more about the language or want to know more about France and stuff. So last week though, every week I've been making videos for the past 3 weeks, but last week I didn't upload any video. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I am back now. And this week's video is about unconventional ways to learn French my way. I think videos about languages can be a bit boring, I'm not gonna lie, because many people, there are different YouTubers, different people that make videos relating to languages, even non-YouTubers, like just people, random people that just make videos about, hey, how to learn French, how to learn German, how to learn. But these videos can be a bit boring, so I didn't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that on my channel. I think it's a bit boring. Just, hey, if you want to learn French, okay, hello in French is bonjour. I don't like this. I want this channel to be a bit more fun. And even if I do that, which I will do, I want it to be like, I don't know, you can learn while having fun. I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be boring, just like teaching lessons videos. So I just thought, hey, let me make a video about unconventional ways to learn French in my way. For those who, I hope this video is not going to be long. If it's long, please get yourself a cup of tea. I don't know, just make yourself comfortable and don't just skip this video because it's long, because I hope it's going to be helpful if you want to learn French and if you love languages like I do. So please relax and watch this video if you're interested. If you're not, then
I'll see you next time then.
I hope you're interested. Alright, so for those who know me, they will know that I love languages. I mean, I love languages. I think languages are awesome, and my dream, honestly, would be to be fluent in all languages. But I don't think God is going to make that happen. But at least to be fluent in a few languages. I love language. I just think they're very, like, I don't know, I think there's something nice about being able to speak different languages. And thank God of the fact that I'm kind of multicultural, you know. I was raised in France, which means French is my first language. My parents are of Ghanaian origin, which means I speak a bit of Ghanaian local languages. And I lived in the UK, which means I speak English. So I have like 3 languages that I'm actually sort of fluent in. So though I remember there was a period in my life where I wanted to learn German, and I basically spent just 2 hours learning German numbers from 1 to 10, and that actually went pretty well. I was young. Anyway, so for those who want to learn French, want to learn languages, I think for me, what's important, I'll just give you some tips. 1, what's important for me is when you want to learn the language, you have to stick with it. I get a lot of people coming up to me and telling me, oh, Miriam, you gotta teach me French. But when they tell me, I don't know if they're just saying it or if they're actually serious. So if you're watching this video and you're like, oh my gosh, she's speaking about French and how, you know, she's giving tips about learning French and stuff, oh my gosh, let me click on it and watch it. But you have no backbone, like you just say, I want to learn French, but actually you're not really into it, then there's no point. You know, you can want to be fluent in something, but you have to work to be fluent in a language. I'm sure there are people that I guess learn faster, but nobody is born knowing a language. Even if there's someone that you know that learn languages fast, they still had to learn it somehow, though they may learn it fast. So I think you have to really work with what you want. French, I was raised in France, so French, I've never really had to learn French like that. But for other languages that I've wanted to learn, such as Korean, which is a language that I completely love it. I've had to, if I want to be fluent in Korean, for example, I've actually have to sit down and tell myself that I'm actually going to teach myself and actually stick with it. So one thing, yeah, that I will tell you is, one thing about me, for example, I'm so into Korean languages, Asian culture, and I've been watching Korean shows. Korean variety shows are the bomb, guys. Asian variety shows, Asian dramas, if you know, you know. This is too funny, I'm making myself laugh. But I've been watching Korean shows and variety Asian programs with English subtitles for the past 5 years. And I haven't really watched them to learn it. Like, I haven't watched them so that I can learn Korean, but I've just watched them because they're very entertaining. But 5 years that I've been into the Korean culture and the Korean shows, I'm still not fluent in Korean. 5 years. And the reason is because I haven't told myself that I wanted to be fluent in the language. So you kind of want to learn, you may want to learn a language. You may want to, I don't know, you may be interested in a language, you may be interested in a culture, but if you actually don't want to proper learn it, you can spend 5 years loving the culture and loving the language and with no progress. There are many ways you can learn French if it's really something you want to do. But for some tips that I can give you is, one, watch French shows. Definitely. I don't know why people don't talk about it. Like, for example, me, the example of Korean, how I've told you that I love the Asian culture, how I love Korean culture. Even with that trying, for the past 5 years, when I've been watching shows just to watch them for, I guess, because it's funny, they have funny shows or they have really fun dramas. Though I haven't actually told myself that I wanted to be fluent in Korean in the past, without knowing, I actually understand 30 or 35, 40 almost % of Korean. Like, if I go to Korea right now, I would actually sort of know how to express myself in basic forms, just because I've been watching shows. It's very funny, just because I've been watching shows. But then when it gets a bit deep, I'm a bit lost. But just because I've been watching Korean shows with English subtitles, without even trying, for the past 5 years, I can actually understand Korean about almost 0.5%. You see, by exposing yourself to the culture and by exposing yourself to people speaking, it would definitely be a plus for you. People might say, oh, what kind of tip is that? But hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? Watching French shows is definitely going to help you. There are different shows that you can watch. When I say French shows, I mean shows that English shows that may be dubbed in French. Like, guys, French people, I'm just gonna like say it. If you're American, if you're British, you know, especially if you're American, French people love to dub your movies, Hollywood movies. Lion King, there's a French version of the Lion King, like dubbed in French. You can actually watch Lion King in French, the whole movie, the whole cartoon. I mean, Titanic is dubbed in French. You can watch Titanic if you want to learn French. Like, if you, especially movies that you love, most Hollywood movies, especially classic Hollywood movies, have their French versions. You can definitely watch them with English subtitles or just French, and even watch have a French version of the movie and a British or English version of the movie, and then compare them. The Color Purple has a French version. Sister Act has a French dubbed version. Many American movies have a French version. Oh gosh. Libéré, délivré. Anyway, but you also have to be careful, because though these are the French version or these are the French soundtracks, they may not literally be the meanings. They may not be the literal translation of the English version. The second, a way to learn French, I think, yeah, is, for me, what I think is that it's much more important to know a few words and know how to pronounce them really well than to know a number of words and a number of sentences, but you don't really know how to pronounce them. So for me, if you want to learn French, I think a way to start is to know how to pronounce certain words. That's what I found hard when I came to England for the first time. I didn't even know how to say water. Water. I still don't know how to say water. It's so hard. And sometimes, though I had a good vocabulary when I first went to the UK, a lot of people didn't understand me because I didn't really pronounce words properly. So I had so many words in my mind, my vocabulary was great, but that I still was blocked because people couldn't understand me because of, I guess, the way I pronounced words. Get a French and English dictionary, that's one. Don't just rely on the internet. Sometimes it's good to have a hard copy. So get an English French dictionary that has the that had the diction in it as well, in terms of that has that thing where they tell you like the spelling of pronunciation. I don't know exactly how to say it, but actually next to the French word they have like that sort of thing that tells you how to actually pronounce it. Have that. And any French word that you learn, you can actually also go on Google and type how to pronounce chat, how to pronounce bonsoir, how to pronounce, just to, I guess, improve your pronunciation. Hear someone saying that word in French is really good. It's very, very flattering. Even if you can only say my name is in French, you will know how to say it like a French person. That's already a first. I remember when I was in England, because I left France when I was 13, right? So I was in the UK. I joined year 10. I was in year 10. And I had French, French class. It's not because I'm French that I'd be like, oh Miriam, you don't need to have French classes. No, I had to pass the GCSE, which I got A star for. But my French teacher, I'm not gonna lie, my French teacher really wasn't really good. Her French was not really that great. She tried, but she didn't have the French pronunciation. It wasn't really good. You see, so if what is not going to really help you, what you learn in school is not really going to help you. You actually need to hear how people speak French. That's why watching French shows, because you're going to get to hear. So but then when you listen to it, you might feel like you lack, or you might feel, I don't know, it might depress you because you might think, oh, I'm not at that level. But don't let it depress you. Don't let it depress you at all. I actually forgot to mention it in the beginning of this video, but there are different types of learners. There are people learn differently. For example, me, I learn better by reading and writing. Like seeing that the words written and then writing it. I memorize better by reading things. You see, so there are different types of learners that are people that learn better languages or learn better by hearing. These are auditory learners. So by hearing, by speaking and listening, they learn better. So if you're that kind of learner, listening to a lot of French, listening to a lot of French lessons, it's definitely going to help you. There are visual learners, people that learn better by graphic images. So these are the kind of people that have a lot of notes around their houses. If you learn better this way, this could also help you when you're trying to find out how to learn a language, by having a lot of different graphic images, a lot of I don't know, drawings of, I don't know, maybe you have a drawing of a tree with the French word written under it, so that you know that arbre is a tree in French. See, so you have, and there are kinesthetic learners as well, people that learn best by, I guess, touching things and creating things. I don't know how this work when it comes to languages, but you have to know what kind of learner you are. Maybe you learn better by reading and writing, you're a kinesthetic learner, you're an auditory learner, people in general learn better by combining all of these things, but some people are more, everyone has a preference. So there are many tests online that you can actually take to learn what type of learner you are. It can help you. There's this tendency that people think that French music is all about Edith Piaf and classic music, but actually, if you go out there are many French artists, pop artists, rap, French rap, a lot of different types of French music. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not really into them. But if you're into gospel, for example, you just love gospel music, some good Christian music, there are many classic gospel songs, like classic gospel songs that have their French versions as well. Just explore, honestly. The fourth tip I can give you, Now we're getting serious now. Yeah, I talked about watching the shows, but the show is not going to help you like that. I talked about music, but music is not going to help you like that. If you really want to get serious, yeah. Now, what's important is to stick with it. Actually, set a day aside. For me, that's what I'm trying to do with the Korean, guys. What you need to do if you want to learn a language, first off, stick with it. And if you don't have a timetable, if you don't have French in your schedule, you are not going to stick with it. So have at least a day aside, each 1 day a week, where you know that this is your time to learn French. Like for 1 hour or for 2 hours, set time aside to actually learn French. Like 1 hour dedicated to French every Monday time. You know that's your day to learn French. If you don't do that, I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna work. It's actually not going to work at all. You're just not going to stick with it. Another tip I'll give you now is, I think this is the 5th tip, I'm not sure, but another tip I'll give you is actually learn the grammar. This is actually the most important tips. After you've started watching the shows, started watching the French shows, surrounding yourself, join French clubs in your neighborhood. Maybe you may have French studying clubs or French lessons. After you've done all that, what's important is to actually now set time aside to learn French and learn the grammar. French is very hard, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Sorry guys, I don't know where this is coming from. This is maybe my mom rapper or something. Anyway, so as I said something in the video, the memory card got full on my camera. In French, there are different ways to refer to everything. So there are different ways to refer to boy, there are different ways to refer to girl. So there's la, les, le, des, deux, une, un. They're just different definite articles in French that is definitely important to learn. But just don't get overwhelmed. Like, when you find out how much you've got to learn, it may get you overwhelmed, but don't get overwhelmed. It's all part of the process, but definitely it's very, very important. I can teach you about watching shows, but knowing the French grammar rules is definitely going to help you, because you may know about the vocabulary, you may know about all this, but then if you don't know how to form a sentence, what's the point? You see, it's very, very important to know about the French grammar. So I even have a German grammar notebook because I wanted to learn German. So I have a German grammar book that I got from a library. Or I think I actually bought it. I actually bought it my own money. Yes. So it's, you just have no excuse. You could go to the library if you're a university student or whatever. If you know, it'll help you as well to know how to write. It's good to know how to speak it. To understand it, but then knowing how to write it is important. Record yourself after 3 months of learning, and I don't know, with your French friends or your French class, you can give it to your teacher so that she tells you what she thinks of it, or you can record yourself so that you know how you sound. Just a good few months after learning, it's very good to record yourself and to find out your progress and stuff. Or maybe after each lesson, record yourself in terms of what you've learned that day and stuff, if that's the way you learn. These are the only tips I can give you. Unconventional tips, so I kind of gave you conventional tips as well, but there's some things you can't really get away from. If you really want someone to give you their point of view, their opinion on how you do, then guys, definitely email me. In the description box, my email address is there. Email me, and I don't know, we can just share tips, and we can, I can just give you some tips and stuff, and find out your progress, just send me some of your voice notes, find in touch that I can give you what I think about how your pronunciation is. I don't know, why not? I hope I won't get a bunch of them, but why not? So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to have fun when you're learning the language as well, and stick with it. Okay, bye. Watashi no namae wa Miriam desu.